Welcome back to a special edition, I guess you could call it, of Nursing Uncensored. This is Adrianne, and this actually is going to have a little bit of a different tone, and I think this is an important issue, and I've actually been waiting to speak about this since I started the podcast. The recording that you're about to hear, I recorded 2.5 years ago, after I experienced a patient death that really affected me more than any of them had before. So I would just like to warn people, the thing that I'm introducing to you, the recording that I'm about to play, I do cry. It is emotionally wrenching for me to listen to again, but I think that this is relevant, and this just felt like the right time for me to post it. So I'm not going to make any jokes or play any music because this is a serious topic. So if you are in a place where you don't want to get emotional, or like you're on your way to work and you don't want to smudge your mascara, maybe save this for later because it is a bit charged. Yeah, I guess that's all I can say about this. So I'm going to go ahead and play this recording from, I think this was maybe early 2017. So yeah, here it is, folks. Hey guys, it's Adrianne. Sorry to start the podcast off with tears, but it's one of those mornings. This is not meant to be sensationalized, but this is raw. I don't know if I'll post it, but I'm really upset, and I just wanted to take the pain that I'm feeling and try to channel it into something therapeutic, helpful. I don't know. I work on a unit at a hospital that sees quite a lot of death. And throughout events in my life, I have made my peace with death in a lot of ways. I've lost people very close to me, and I've found some way to cope. And the last many months, it's been hard to cope. And I'm not in a place of despair or self-harm or anything like that, so this isn't like one of those kind of messages, but I just feel sad, and I wanted to talk about a very specific type of burnout that I and a lot of my coworkers are experiencing right now. And there is burnout, burnout can really take any form. But when I think of burnout, I typically think of being exhausted, long hours, stressful shifts, critical patients. But there's another component to it that not a lot of, maybe more nurses experience this than I think. But it's when you watch patients over a long period of time, readmissions and in and out of ICU, back down. I'm on step down. And there is a special kind of burnout and suffering for nurses who watch prolonged tragic suffering and pain. Sorry, guys, my dog is running around, and I can't really stop him, so it might be noisy. We take care of people that come in for something positive, like a transplant, and they don't leave for months. In and out of ICU, complications, then they perk up, then they have another complication, then they start to do better, and some of them get really strong and go home and they live their lives. And some of them waste away before your very eyes and you get to know them. Sorry, guys. You get to know them and you get to like them and you know where they're from and you can recite their medical history and you can recite, let me pull it together. You can recite their meds. You know where all of the skin tears are on their body, and you know what position they like to sleep in, and they're like your children, even though they're decades older than you. Or sometimes they're younger, sometimes they're your age. And you get to know everything about how to take care of them, and then they die. And if you're really lucky, you have a staff of nurses that can come together in whatever venue and talk about it and feel it and grieve so that you can put it down and move to the next one. Sorry, I'm going to try to get rid of the whiny voice. God, I hate that. But this is how I feel. And my dog's tearing up my roll of sparkly washi tape as I cry into my phone. But yeah, so sorry, bringing it back to focus. You get to know these people, you know their spouses and their kids. And then what do you do with that? What do you go home and you take your scrubs off and you take a shower, and some people cry in the shower. Some people go to the gym. Some people just stuff it way down in the pit of their stomach until they retire from nursing or quit their jobs, feeling that pit, that negativity, whatever it is. So what do we do? What do we do about it? Do we cry into our phones and then post it on the internet? Some of us do. Do we say nothing? Do we come home and try to talk to our non-medical families about it? Sometimes, but no, I don't want my partner to know these things. They're weighing so heavy on me. Why would I want to give that to him? I want to heal it and I want to let it go so neither one of us has it. But what do? We talk with our friends, we talk with our coworkers. Some of us don't have that. Some of us have to talk to our families. I don't know. Are there places that have regularly meeting support groups? Are they utilized? If nurses that worked palliative care or acute care or ICU or wherever it is that you work, that you experience loss. God, I can't imagine doing this with kids. God, that would kill me. I would have to go drive a cab. I wouldn't be able to be a nurse in that setting. But what do we do? Guys, this isn't me telling you what the solution is. I want to know. I'm a new nurse still. And while I have a lot to share and I get on the horn and I talk about things that I think other people should know too, this is an opportunity for me to learn from you. So, guys, what do we do? Do you have a support group at your hospital? Does your management give you the opportunity to debrief after losses that affect you guys? Does your employer offer offsite? And if so, is it enough? Is a handful of sessions a year with some kind of employee health program, does that cut it? Or is that why we have insurance, so that we can go to therapy? But you know what? Side note, here's an educational point for you. I did use my employee assistance program once because I was a brand new nurse and I was terrified down to my core, to the point of panic attacks, that I was going to hurt somebody because I didn't know something. And how could I know everything? But I went to this nurse and she talked about, hey, why don't you go to a counselor? And I said, because I don't want to terrify and disgust and give nightmares to some nursing master's student or PhD student that has to listen to me talk about all the traumas of my job. And she said that there are actually nurses who have become therapists that will fit that role for us, so that we can go in and we can just talk nurse language and talk about our pains, and we don't have to worry about whether or not the social work major that's sitting across from us is ready to vomit in the wastebasket. So that's one thing. Yeah, we've got insurance. Do that. I should do that. I'm going to do that. I encourage that if you're struggling, you do that too. But what else? What can we do that's more community? Because if I'm struggling and I'm only there 2 days a week, then I know that my nursing partners in crime that are there 3, 4, 5 days a week, they're really feeling it. They've got to be. And if someone like me, who can handle death with a sense of purpose and a positive look for helping someone die with comfort and dignity, if I, who has such an easy time with death, if you can call it that, then people that don't have an easy time with it have got to be struggling. And so I want to reach out to everyone. If you're listening to this and you're struggling, like, I'm not a therapist. I am just a person who's experiencing a lot of really intense stuff. And I've been doing this for years. Granted, my role is different now, but like, this is old hat. I'm feeling it a little heavy right now. We joked benignly in report that our patients they're now just leasing the rooms that they're in. So guys, what do? How do you watch a patient come in, walk in, and not walk out? Like, and not just that, not just the death, any of the traumas, the suffering, anoxic brain injuries, traumatic brain injuries, all these fucking horrible diseases that people get. We see it so acutely. I don't know, guys. I don't have any answers. I want you guys to know you're not alone if you're feeling this. If you know me personally, you can talk to me. I mean, maybe I don't know anything. I can't fix your problems, but if you need to talk, I'm all ears. Nursing is hard. And even as I sit here on my couch, like ranting into my phone and crying, I wouldn't give it back, because even though I'm having a hard time feeling the futility of modern medical care and what it can do for people that aren't doing so well, it's hard to swallow. And if you don't know me, I'm sorry. I'm not going to give you my phone number. I got a life too, but you can send me a message. I read them all. If you just need someone to hear what you're struggling with so you can acknowledge it, grieve it, set it down, walk away. You don't have to post publicly, but I would love it if you did, and share with our community the fact that this is not easy. It's rewarding. We get to make a difference, but we need to make sure that we're not just carrying all this baggage around with us throughout our careers. So let's have a conversation, guys. I'm just, I'm not going to make any jokes. I'm just going to end this on a serious note. If you are feeling burned out, if you feel like you can't do it anymore, if you're crying before, during, or after shifts, if you're up at night worrying about your patients, if in any way you are feeling the dread, I encourage you, use any resource and all resources you have available to you. Your friends, your family, hotlines that your employer may have. I really think that we don't have to struggle through this alone. We're all going through this shit. So let's end bullying culture and help each other get through all of these incredibly painful things so that we can continue to provide excellent care to people who really, really need us. All right, that's all, guys. I just burned off all my endorphins and I'm going to bed. Happy nursing. Take care of each other.